What's up, Portland? John Taylor, founder of PortlandRealEstateExperts.com.
And I'm Kristina Bullock, co-founder of PortlandRealEstateExperts.com.
And we are your hosts for the show that brings you interesting people talking about what makes them unique,
What makes Portland unique?
and why Portland is such a great place to live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the All Things Portland show. I'm your host, John Taylor, along with my lovely co-host, Kristina Bullock, and our amazing guests, Heidi and James.
How's it going?
How's everybody doing today?
Happy Great. How are you guys?
Happy to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So what do you have in store for us today, Kristina?
So today we are going to talk about all the creative endeavors that James and Heidi are involved in, and maybe some busted up photographers around town. And then they're going to tell us who their favorite artists are for tattoos, and we're going to talk a little bit about first-time home buying and what their questions are.
Yay!
Awesome.
So stay tuned.
And so James Ramsey and his lovely girlfriend, Heidi Lavon.
Hi.
Heidi Lavon is her own brand, and they do all kinds of things. Photography, modeling, jiu-jitsu, and they are also fellow podcasters. So we're super excited to have them on our show today.
Exposure therapy.
Exposure therapy, exactly.
Yep, it's where you can find their podcast. So.
Yes.
On iTunes and Spotify.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took us a second for that to get nailed down, but we got
Yeah.
it.
So tell us about your show, Exposure Therapy. What's that all about?
Well, basically, we just were like talking about doing a podcast for a long time. Like COVID hit, so staying inside all the time. Everybody's kind of out of work and all that stuff. And luckily for us, we work mostly from home anyway. So
Seemed
we're
like the best time to do it.
Yeah. Seemed like the best time to do it, and we were just leaving an apartment, moving into a house out in the country now, and so finally have room to put it up and do all that stuff. So finally got it going, and it's pretty awesome. And basically just using it to kind of like meet and hang out with everybody we think is cool on social media.
Yep.
Love
Absolutely.
it.
And it's funny how COVID's kind of spurred all this creativity because it's exactly kind of that's when we started as well. And kind of for the same, somewhat for real estate, but not just real estate. We wanted to have fun, creative people, interesting people.
Oh, yeah.
Like yourselves.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
I appreciate it.
No, we had talked about it for a long time, and then
So did we,
then COVID hit, and you're like, why not? It was time to dive in. So.
Yeah, we needed to find a good space for it, and we had it in our house, and we were quickly like, there's just too much stuff in here, so we rented a studio in Portland. It's pretty cool. It's almost done getting set up.
Yep.
What do you guys talk about?
So exposure therapy, basically, I feel like the reason we called it that was it's a little play on words. So exposure therapy.
Yes.
You hear it? You hear that play?
I'm on the spot.
It's okay.
Seeing that we do everything with photography, modeling, and all that kind of stuff, exposure therapy. Exposure is the unit of measurement that people use cameras to measure light coming through the camera. So that was a play on words for that. But also, I feel like exposing people to all kinds of other people and exposing ourselves to different things.
Because we do a lot of exposing of ourselves in our modeling.
I guess there's another play. There's another one.
That's what I thought it was.
There's another
So
one.
it's not. Yeah.
But
You guys are
also,
both famous models. Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
so famous.
I like to minimize. I'm like famous. But also, one of my best friends knows that I'm afraid of doing a lot of things, like things that I'm not comfortable doing, like roller coasters and all that kind of shit. So she told me, you need to start doing exposure therapy with these things. So I feel like it all just kind of like came together perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
As far as
how
I'm
many
concerned.
shows so far?
Only 7.
7 so far.
Yeah.
But, we started in our house.
Yep.
And then that quickly became too small. So we decided to get the studio, like she was saying, downtown.
Yep.
But in the process of doing that, we've had to wait for like a new table and more chairs and just getting everything, waiting for it to come in through COVID.
Not
and
as
all
easy
that.
as it sounds.
No.
We had one table.
Shout out to GMP.
I know. I walked up there and I was like,
Carrying the
these
load.
guys figured it out, man. Doing this all
they do.
on my own is hard.
Yeah.
So
It is hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of pieces of equipment.
Yeah, a lot of crap I thought I had a handle on.
Well, we ordered
You guys are doing
certain-
better than I did because I failed, and that's how I'm here at the GMP studios. So
Yep.
Thankfully, we have
East
somebody
Burnside.
I
helping.
think we
Yes.
have them.
We have no COVID. It's everything has been taking forever. We ordered a table, and the table took a month.
and we only got part of it.
To get there.
And they're like,
Right.
well, and the other part didn't come, so we called the people, and they're like, well, if you want a refund, you have to send us, or no, if you want the table, you have to send us back the part you just got.
All the way to New York.
To New York, so we can send you back out everything at once. And we're like,
I was like, no, dude.
no.
That's
No.
insane.
And I was very, very picky. I wanted a shiny, reflective, white table.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted. And I forgot what it's called, but it's like a table, and it's like this instead of like 4 legs. There's like
The
a word for it.
T-leg?
Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah.
It's just a really nice table.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Yeah,
In my 30s, I'm like, ooh, interiors. This is really nice.
I do have a question though. You guys met on a photo shoot, which is
did.
intriguing in its own.
Yeah.
Is it an exposed photo shoot?
I've heard about this.
So
Exposure therapy.
put me on the spot. So
Oh, man.
James is turning red.
I know. So
This is a
when we
blushy
first
story.
met.
I'm sorry, Mom. This is a blushy story.
So-
okay.
So I was just kind of getting into modeling, and when I say getting into modeling, I wasn't actively trying to model. I was just tagged in a post in this photography book that someone thought I would be a good fit in. Right? Someone was like, "Oh, dude, James, check this out." It was Michael Stokes Photography. He does coffee table books, like fine art photography of like wounded veterans. You know,
And very sexy nude men.
yeah. I am
Just putting that
a
out
veteran.
there.
I'm a veteran, and he takes a lot of pictures of amputees and stuff. I'm a veteran and an amputee, but I lost my leg in a motorcycle accident, not when I was in the military. Anyway, I was tagged in this post, and I was like, oh, wow, that's awesome. I messaged Michael Stokes. I was like, hey, love your work. Good job highlighting the veteran community, whatever. He's like, that's great. Would you be interested in shooting with me? And I'm like, huh? Like, yeah,
Oh, no.
like come to LA and shoot with me. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, wow. I don't want to get murdered in a basement. You know, like, what is going on here?
Speaking of sketchy photography.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Like,
We're not there yet.
so yeah, I was like, I didn't know anything about Michael Stokes. I didn't know anything about modeling or anything because I never, did anything like that before. So I was like, oh crap. And I kind of did some research. Everybody he was shooting was chiseled from stone. You know,
Yeah.
these are
Yeah.
all
How
like,
long ago was that? Was that pretty?
oh, like
5-6 years ago?
right before we met.
Almost 6 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I was nervous about the shoot, and a mutual friend of ours, her name is Ryder, she's great. She was like, hey, you should do a shoot with my friend and my other friend. One's a model, one's a photographer, and they could probably help you out. I was like, yeah, sure. I get a hold of the photographer, and they're like, hey, do you want to shoot with the model too? The other model is Heidi. I had known Heidi already through social media. I'd seen her on like Facebook and Instagram or whatever. But I never actually met her in real life or anything. So
You were
Boy,
stalking.
he was
It
not
a
ready. He was not
stalking.
ready. He was
So-
not ready.
Were you stalking?
I was not stalking. I was
already
not
knew her
stalking,
very
but
well.
I just knew where she lived, and I sat outside her window every night. No,
Playing the harmonica.
Yeah.
with a boombox.
Yeah. In your eyes.
So I just messaged her. I was like, hey, the photographer was saying we should shoot together. Do you want to have dinner or something? Because I was under the impression it might be kind of a steamy shoot,
Very,
you know.
sexy shoot.
So we met up, and
I had never
yeah.
shot with a dude before. Shockingly enough, I've been doing this for so long. I think I did it once, and it was like a really quick, fast thing. But this was like going to be more intimate. It's
like you know,
Oh,
like a romance
I
novel
was like,
shoot.
yeah,
Yeah,
that type of
Yeah.
thing.
yeah. I was
and
like, we have some like chicken wings before.
I know. And I was like,
You know?
let's have a drink, which led to more drinks, and then
Led to 5 years later.
and then I basically was just like ended up at his house, and I was there for like days, and then
so it was
fast forward-
immediate.
It was just like
Immediate.
yeah, I like fell in love, but I was like fighting it really, really hard because I was like single and I had just gotten my own place, and I was like, I
I
just
am
want to do what I want to do. I'm independent as a woman. I don't want to be responsible for anyone's feelings. And at the same time, he's like, well, what are we? And then I just fell in love, and yeah.
And now you
like,
guys are.
We're hanging out all the time, but don't hang out with anybody else. But
Yeah.
come over
And
every
when are
night.
you gonna
I'm
move
like,
in?
but
And
what
then
are we
I
doing?
moved in, and
Right.
I need
Yeah.
a title.
Yeah, it was
I need
it
a
was
title,
lot.
lady.
Yeah, so I mean
gave
that's
in. I
so
gave
that's
in.
basically how we met, and I started modeling.
Cute.
She had already been modeling for, a long
Some
time
stuff.
before we
Yeah.
met.
Yeah.
And she,
And I guess when people ask me what I do or where I come from, my background is like I'm a tattoo glamour model. I guess that's like the super specific thing. So like not a lot of clothing, all tattoo related, tattoo magazines.
Yeah.
All tattoo stuff.
Yeah, she's
Your
on the
whole
cover of
body
FHM. Sweden.
Not the whole,
Yeah,
not the
I
whole
saw
body,
that.
not the
Yeah,
whole
that's
body,
really
but quite a bit of the body. His whole back is done. My whole back isn't done. It's about half done. But I mean, I don't know.
A good amount.
A good amount.
More than most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
that's how that kind of.
So what besides the photography, the modeling that you do, your photography, what do you guys like to shoot?
I feel like it's the same exact thing like the podcast. Bring on people we're interested in, people who are interesting, people who have a cool look. Same thing for the modeling photography stuff. Work with people who are interesting, who have an interesting look. I shot him and
another amputee model,
like
Shahali
supermodel. Yeah.
Yeah, she was in
Walking
Sports Illustrated.
New
She's
York
in New York
Fashion
Fashion
Week,
Week. She's
and
missing an arm.
Yeah, so
Really?
we did this
Yeah.
really cool nude shoot with them,
Yeah.
and a lot of people when they saw the photos were like, "Does your wife know about this?" And I was like,
bro,
"I
she
took
took the photo."
It was my
She
idea.
was, yeah, she did the
But it was
Yeah,
funny
and it
because
was just really good.
I'm missing my leg and she's missing her arm, and somebody turned one of the photos
meme?
into a meme. It says when a
Yeah.
photographer charges an arm and a leg. I was like, it was so good.
It's terrible.
The
but
internet wins
amazing.
again, bro.
Yeah, it's terrible but amazing. Whatever. And I think it's amazing if you have a good sense of humor like that.
Yeah.
If you're someone who doesn't, obviously you're not secure with yourself.
Well, it's
Yeah,
just like
absolutely.
in
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu, like if you're a model, or if you're modeling, you're putting yourself out there like that. And even if you're not a model, because there's a lot of people that model, but they don't have anything published, right? They're just on Instagram or Facebook.
They're an Insta model. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's still modeling, right?
Yeah.
But it's just not the same because it's a different time now. It doesn't really matter if you're on magazine covers. Everybody's just like, what's your social media? It
Right.
seems like,
Yeah.
it's a
What is
different.
yours? Where can we see these photos? Actually,
Yeah, where do
what's
we-
your
where do we-
handle?
where do we find your stuff at?
Oh, so in many places, I used to be on Patreon for like 5 years. I use OnlyFans now, which is the shit. Love OnlyFans. But yeah, I mean, you
So
can
just
find
look up OnlyFans.
You did
your
Google-
name.
We just
You
go to
probably
her
Google.
Instagram.
You probably just Google and maybe Google their names together, like Shahali. What's her last name?
You can see a lot of stuff on her Instagram
Instagram.
and her Facebook and my Instagram.
It's just at Heidi Lavon. Is
At
it?
Heidi Lavon, yeah.
Yeah,
So my
yeah.
Instagram for myself is at Heidi Lavon. The photos are Heidi Lavon takes photos, and
And she does hair.
I do hair.
Yeah.
Well, it's a whole ass thing.
We need
yeah.
hair and makeup for
Hair and
the
makeup,
show,
yeah, and that's a whole other thing, a whole dynamic that brings it to modeling as well. Is I don't have to really hire anybody because I do the photos, the hair, the makeup, and all the stuff.
Do it
anyways.
all.
And the model was it the model directing. So it was really
Kristina's
easy.
done some modeling.
Yeah.
Have.
Yeah.
I have. She's like, I have.
I
I
remember.
was only on a big wall down in the Pearl District.
Love,
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
Very
Yes,
A
a
few
little
months
bit.
pregnant with her son.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yes.
I got a billboard somewhere out there for the Untattoo Parlor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a picture of my back, and there's like these guys like with squeegees like squeegeeing off a
Is
Yeah.
that here local?
Yeah,
I
there's
feel
some-
like I've seen that. Yeah.
there's somewhere around here. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
there's
like
a couple
if you
of
see a
them.
guy with a huge tattooed,
Yeah.
jacked back,
I'll
that's,
look and go.
that's
That would be me.
Yeah.
So we were talking earlier, speaking of photography, you said that you guys want to maybe talk about some photographers out there that utilize Instagram in the not so good way, or there's some, what were you guys talking about that?
I think where we were going with that was kind of hard to name drop, but
You don't have to name drop. There's
Yeah, it's not name
photographers out there that will use
will and
their
do,
clout,
will and do, yeah.
their clout, their social media, their influence, or whatever to take advantage of people.
Of naive,
Of younger models
Yeah.
too. So if you're a model out there, be research who you're going to go shoot with. Take somebody with you. If you ask the photographer questions and they become uncomfortable answering these questions, it's probably a red flag.
Red
You don't
flag,
want to hang
right.
out with somebody that doesn't want someone else there. Like what kind of?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a sensual shoot. It'd be better if nobody was here. Why? That doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make
Yeah,
You know,
it does not.
Like
it does not
I
help
want
you.
someone here. Take someone with you. Let people know where you're going. Don't sign
anything.
anything. Model releases, man, those can come back and be used against you. Say you shoot some nude photos. That's a huge thing with OnlyFans and everything. People
Yeah.
want to make money. So that's just a real thing to talk about. If you're shooting nude photos, don't sign a release because then that gives the photographer control of all that content.
I think you should come with your own model release.
Yeah, you should have a model
you
release.
can't do that. I don't
That's
think a lot of
great
models
advice.
know that.
I love that.
Create your
Yeah.
own and have them sign it. That way you're also protected.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
So some of
talk
these
about.
young models are just like so excited,
Happy and
they're
excited.
They'll see this photographer that they
Yeah.
follow, and they're like, "Oh my God, he wants to shoot with me. This is awesome."
They'll fall for that.
It looks
And-
legit.
And it looks
everything.
legit.
Yeah.
And they'll get
Yeah.
like they'll shoot 1,000 photos, get 3 back.
It's
and
happened
be
a
like,
lot.
"See, it
It's a
happened
lot.
to her."
Way a lot over here. Yeah.
You've learned the hard way. Then.
Yeah.
That's why we
Which
started.
is why I mostly.
This is why we started doing our own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay, so
Great.
reach out to Heidi if you're interested
There
in
we
some
go.
photos.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we have to take a quick break here and hear from one of our sponsors. But when we come back, we're going to talk about their favorite artists to go get tattoos around Portland, the infamous Portland package,
Yeah.
and we'll be right back.
Have you ever thought about flipping your own home?
Need to sell but cannot afford the repairs? We,
have
have the solution for you.
With our Flip Your Own Home program, we can help you maximize your full potential profit.
For a free, no obligation 15-minute consultation, call or text us today at 503-382-7798.
Welcome back, everyone. We're back here at the GMP studios on 24th and East Burnside, and back with our guests, James and Heidi, and co-host Kristina.
Hello.
And so we're going to talk about the infamous Portland package, and we're going to have James and Heidi give us their infamous Portland package, and then we're going to circle back and just chit-chat a little bit more about what we were talking about in the last section about the model safety issues and kind of go back to that. So that being said, who wants to jump into their infamous Portland package?
Well, considering that every conversation is, "Babe, where do you want to eat?" Right? "Babe, where do you want to eat?" Like that's the Portland package, right? You got to have a good night out on the town.
Is
Like
it a painful question where you like
no, because
you can't decide on
sometimes.
anywhere?
I'm more flexible and he's more picky. I literally could eat almost anything, and James.
I don't
is
really
like
like seafood.
Oh,
I'm not a seafood.
Sushi?
so much.
I mean, I like sushi, but it
Okay.
depends on the sushi.
He
like,
won't
I
have
don't
like a
super
piece of
fishy
salmon.
stuff.
He won't have
Yeah.
a piece. He won't have a crab leg. He won't do anything like that. I'm like,
I seen a YouTube video of a little worm crawling around in a salmon
Get
once,
out
like
of here.
like a 300 years ago, So I was like super freaked out
I
on
have
shit
seen
like
that,
that since.
actually.
So
That is
I'm like
pretty
I'm cool with
nasty.
like the avocado rolls and
Yeah.
stuff like that, but
he'll have like spicy tuna.
I like spicy.
I don't like
tuna.
cooked
Seared tuna's
salmon.
good.
I like raw salmon.
I like cooked salmon and raw salmon, but it sometimes it's a little fishy. I feel like salmon is like the fishy one.
Yeah,
It's a
I
little
agree.
Fishy.
More.
So
the
good
infamous
Portland
package.
package. Yeah. So what would you say? I think the Studio One Theaters, great place. They have super good dinner, and you can see all the brand new movies there while you're sitting in like a big couch.
Where's
I was
Where is that? I
hesitant.
haven't-
I was
I haven't been
hesitant
there.
for that to be spoken of, just because I don't want everyone to go there.
yeah.
That sounds like a sneaky
Secret.
one.
It is a
It's
sneaky one.
Amazing.
It's amazing.
Never even
amazing.
heard of it.
I'm not even gonna
What part
say.
of town is it?
I'm not. I don't
No,
know.
we're-
Do you
I
know
don't know.
what
But-
Senate? Oh
Edit
yeah, we
that
don't
out,
even
edit
know.
that out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so yeah, you go there. It has like all the new movies out, and it has a great menu. And you sit there, you're watching a movie, and these guys they just bring you your food as you're chilling. You can have drinks,
Yeah.
and they bring out like
Nice.
good popcorn. That's basically my package right there. Like
Yeah.
I'm good to go right there, ready to go home.
Movie and dinner.
Movie
yeah.
and dinner,
Yeah,
and it's
I like
good
it.
all at the same time. But
Yeah.
like what else? What else do you like? We used to go out a lot.
Yeah,
We do a lot of
in my
things.
younger days, in my 20s, I was just like, wow. So it's strip clubs, bars, dive bars, all
Oh,
that
yeah.
kind of thing. It's still fun to go to the strip club every
Favorite strip club.
Devil's
Yeah.
Point, hands down. Devil's
Okay.
Point. Yeah, Devil's Point. Shout out Devil's Point. What's up?
Yeah.
I like
think it's
Lucky
the
Devil
best.
Lounge, I
I
think.
think it's the best. I like Devil's Point because I like the location. It's by Taco Bell, so when you're drunk at like 2 a.m., you can go to Taco Bell.
You can
gotta
safely
strategy.
get in. You can safely get an Uber.
Strip club strategy. I
You
like
can
it.
Strip
safely
club
get an
strategy,
Uber to the
baby.
Taco Bell.
Yeah. But I do like Lucky Devil's parking lot because there's more parking.
Have you been to a strip club since quarantine?
We actually went
Yes.
through the drive-through.
Yes, for
on
my
her
birthday.
birthday.
Yep.
Yeah, the
Yep.
drive-through.
Oh, the
Lucky
drive-through
Devil.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you actually gone inside?
No.
And
Since-
done the whole
since
mask
COVID?
thing?
The
since-
I haven't
No,
been
I
inside.
That'd
haven't.
be kind of weird.
Yeah, I
haven't
don't
seen it.
know how that
Super
would be.
clean.
But I'm not looking at
Probably.
their
It was.
masks. you know.
Yeah,
so
we're not looking for that.
I'm not looking at their masks, so it doesn't bother me.
Doesn't
You know.
matter. It's very clean.
Yeah.
So I think if you want to have a good night, you could go have a nice dinner movie at Studio One or a similar type of cinema because they got living room theater as well downtown.
Yeah.
And then they have like
I feel like there's Cinetopia out in
Cinetopias.
Beaverton. Is that Beaverton?
Yeah.
I have still never
Tiger,
been to
Tualatin,
Cinetopia, but I heard that one of the owners left Cinetopia, and that's who created Studio One Theater.
Oh.
So it's smaller, but it's a more intimate experience, gourmet food. I'm always excited when I go there. I wear my slippers, my house slippers, no joke, and my pajama pants.
I love it.
Yeah.
And then you can go
Super
have a
comfy.
nightcap
I love
at
it.
the
Very
old
comfy.
Lucky Devil.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause
I'll totally roll up looking like.
Bro, and they even have good food at most of the strip clubs around here.
Yeah.
One thing about Portland is there's a ton of strip clubs in Portland.
Tons.
There's like one on
Absolutely.
every corner.
Yeah.
There's like the strip club capital of the world, I think.
Yeah.
More
I
than
read something.
Vegas.
More, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like
Per
I think-
capita.
yeah, per capita.
A lot of places you got to like go and search out a strip club, and it's like this thing you do with your friends. You're like, oh, hee, we're gonna go to the strip
Right.
club. And in Portland, it's like, hey man, you want to get a beer? Yeah.
Let's,
Where are you gonna go?
Let's
Well,
go.
the strip clubs are like the bars here, you know, because
Yeah.
there's so many of them. So it doesn't even. Yeah, there's
I
you
feel
know
like
beautiful naked women dancing around, but it's
when I moved here, that's when I mean, I'd never experienced that anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I lived here.
We may have gone to a strip club or two. I don't know.
Or 20,000
200.
or something.
Yeah.
Our friend owned what was it?
Shoot.
Sassy's.
Not Sassy's.
No, it was
but
before Wild Orchid. It was
he brought
called.
Why is
Spearmint
that
Rhino into
familiar? Yeah,
Portland.
yeah.
I
Oh,
remember
They
when I
brought
started
on
seeing
I
Division.
remember all that stuff.
What was it?
Was it downtown?
No, it was
No,
on
it was
Division.
on Division.
Okay.
And
was
it
in
turned into Wild
It was a little small hole in the wall. I
Wait,
forget
is
what
it
was.
is it Gresham? Like Southeast? Or like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I think I had an old roommate.
It was
working at Wild
really
Orchid.
tiny.
Yeah, really
And so
tiny.
And
our,
then
our
it
friends
turned it-
bought it. It was just a little
And they just switched.
hole in the wall. And then they remodeled it. And then he's a great salesman, and
Of course.
they built it up pretty good.
Of course.
Because she was a dancer too,
Sure.
so she was able to get
She
a lot of
understood,
good dancers
yeah.
out there when
Yep.
they weren't able to before. But anyway, he brought in Spearmint Rhino, and like it changed his life because they,
I feel
they
like
made
that-
a lot of money
yeah,
selling
yeah.
it to
That's
them.
a
yeah.
well-known one.
And so,
Yeah.
and I don't know if their Spearmint's even still in town or not.
I remember when I first started seeing
Our
them
friend
around
brought
here
that-
though, because
brought
they're
that in.
they're like
Ads
a
for it
chain.
and all that. Yeah,
My
yeah.
friend Jill, she was a dancer back in the day and from New York, and then she came over here
A million years
years ago. Yeah, but she was like, dude, when I first moved here, like the scene, I couldn't believe it because
Yeah.
it was the same in New York. You know, you have to like go and search them out.
2006,
Yeah.
7, and
Yeah.
then the crash kind of changed everything.
I remember
But
that. Yeah.
It was a good hopping year and a
Yeah.
half or so for a while.
Well,
Maybe two, because there was slight denial
Not
that
two,
the
yeah.
crash was happening. So,
Kinda-
extra 6 months of
Good old
keep going
denial.
through it.
Good old
If you're
denial.
going down in
Well,
flames, you
no.
might as well have fun spending
It was
the last little
fire.
bit of money.
Right? You're like, we're gonna die.
Yeah, it was strip clubs,
Kidding, that didn't happen.
limousines everywhere.
Oh my
It was-
gosh.
yeah, there was no.
I
That's
went-
pre-Uber, so you had to
Exactly,
be safe.
and cabs and all of that. Oh, thank God for Uber. Oh my gosh. But I did ride in my very first limo on my last birthday. I'm not joking. Never was in a limo in my life.
Yeah.
I didn't have a reason to. I don't know. I was never asked to prom, never had a boyfriend in high school. Why would I be in a limo?
Do you want to go to prom with me?
I will.
You heard it here
Take
first.
a prom picture with my dad.
Oh, I prom all the time.
So
all
how
the
was
time.
how was your first limo experience?
It was I got very motion sickness and had like a nervous breakdown.
So did I.
And I thought I was
when
gonna
got
poop
home.
my pants, and I thought I was gonna puke. Oh yeah, I get extreme motion sickness
It was
when I get
amazing.
nervous. I
It
get,
was-
Apparently.
oh, it was amazing. But,
Hey,
but, it
but
was
shout
great.
out,
It was great to Toxic.
shout out to Lavish Limos for hooking us up
That-
for our
Oh.
birthday. For
Yeah.
her
Yes,
birthday.
but also my friend who works at Devil's Point,
and Lucky Double.
in Lucky Devil, to talk me down because I was like, and there was like a
Toxic.
train, and then I was like, I'm gonna pee my pants, and it was just like it was a whole situation.
I was just sitting at the other end of the limo, like
Oh my
watching
god,
this train wreck unfold.
But that is me, like almost every day. I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna puke. I feel like I'm gonna poop my pants, like all the time.
you
Yeah,
got
I'm like
all
an
the
anxiety.
feelings.
I'm like a little nervous chihuahua all the time.
So you guys, do you see how amazing it is?
How
date.
easy it is.
To date, such
model.
a model, yeah.
It's so glamorous.
I know, it's a
You know what,
glamorous
it was
life.
fun.
You know
It was
what's
fun.
glamorous when for my birthday one year, John got me a limo and we were gonna go to Bridgeport and I could get whatever I wanted shopping, which sounded amazing. Drinks,
Oh,
food,
nice.
shopping.
Yeah, yeah.
And
That's
April
relaxing.
1978 was the only limo.
Yeah,
It was
my
like-
limo driver kind of ran out of cars.
So there's like,
The beauty was she was born in 1978.
Perfect.
So we
it
called
was
the
like-
limo
We called it the 1978.
That's fun, though.
roll.
That's
it was
so
actually
cool.
It was
so
just
cool.
old
I feel like it
school,
gives it more personality.
And
to
I
that
think
story.
we requested 1978
Sure.
at that
We-
point
yeah,
forever.
we liked
Like we loved
1978 after that.
1978.
Well, and it's an
I know.
old retro limo.
It was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might have been a little crusty, like carpet a little.
There's like
old.
rust
Who
in the
cares?
corner.
A little bit. yeah.
Seatbelt's broken. Who knows?
The vinyl seats were starting to crack.
Oh,
Of
yeah.
course, of course.
But it was amazing.
But
It was
we
a
got
good
Taco
judge.
Bell at the end of the night, and that's all that matters.
There
Yeah.
you go.
It's
For
true.
my birthday, that's all I want.
Yeah.
I was like, it has to have Taco Bell at the end.
Nothing wants me to have Taco Bell more than when I'm having a queasy stomach.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
$1,000%.
it just
No, 'cause
wrecks.
I was
the next morning
anxious.
you're a mess after
Or if
that.
you don't
was
have a
anxious.
queasy stomach,
Any other good
have
late
Taco
night
Bell.
Yeah.
places? Like-
Late night eats?
Yeah, like
Okay, so if we're talking late night
Dude, food carts are good.
food carts, but
Yes.
I don't know if
Food
they're
carts are
open
good.
so late.
There's some that are
Not
open
anymore right
that
now.
were open pretty late before
I
COVID.
think
yeah,
the
the
best
ones
place,
downtown on like 3rd or whatever.
right?
Yeah.
The best place in Portland to eat is Box of Ramen, but they're not there anymore.
I haven't seen a box of ramen recently yet.
Since
And
March.
Montage went down too.
The
That used to
Montage-
be
But they're
their
a cart
hotspot.
now.
Yep.
Oh,
They're
they're
a food cart.
And I
Okay.
googled that because I almost went there. Instead, I went to Delta Cafe. Have you been to
Oh.
Delta Cafe?
No, I haven't.
Viking Soul Food Cart
So
out on
good.
Belmont. That place is super good.
So
if you've
good.
never had it, it's
I've
over
not.
by Movie Madness or whatever.
I haven't had it yet.
I think it's
Is
called
that
Movie
Southeast? Wait,
Madness.
Southeast?
I think yeah,
Division?
Belmont.
Oh no.
On
Oh yeah.
Belmont,
Okay. Yeah, that's around the same area that I'm thinking about.
And then in Cartlandia off of 82nd, there's a lot of good food
There's
carts
a
there. They got a
lot
lot
of
of good
Euros, dude.
gyros there. The shaved like
Oh yeah.
the
meat.
shaved chicken
Oh, my God.
gyros.
Oh, the right place.
Oh my
Love it.
god, so good.
We love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we just ate at the melting pot the other night,
Yeah.
which was really
Yeah.
good.
Been there in forever.
I can't believe they
actually.
were
love
even
that place.
open.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh. So I got
Urban
the
Fondue is another
reservations.
really good
Yes.
restaurant
That's
too.
Yeah,
fun,
our friend owns that.
Oh,
Yeah.
we
Urban
love
Fondue?
it.
Yeah.
We love
I
it.
love Urban
We love
Fondue.
it.
Yeah,
we love
Mark,
it.
he owns a whole bunch, and I can't even name all of his restaurants.
Jeez.
I'll remember him.
He's a
on one of
smart
our
guy
shows.
then. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
it's a hopping place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been around for a long time.
I did not
I remember
know.
that when I first came
What
in,
does he
right
have?
off of
Carlita's
23rd.
Tacos.
Oh.
and,
I don't know. You're putting me
Are these
on
new
the
I
spot.
places for us to
Use
go eat
my
at? Is
memory,
that what
not
we're doing?
me.
Yeah.
I don't
yeah.
remember things I ask you. What I'm trying to say.
He's a really good one is Bricks down in the
Oh, he
Pearl
owns
District.
Bricks?
Oh, yeah.
Wait. Is
He's-
Big Seven?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
they have the best brunch in the world.
Yeah.
They're,
it's
what
so
is it?
good.
The crab like hash or crab something? Or
Yeah, so
something.
that's one of his.
Oh,
that Urban
gosh.
Fondue he's had forever, and
I want to be his
I
daughter.
can't remember
or
the
his
other ones. He's got a
nanny
whole
or
bunch.
something.
He's got about
Oh
5
my
or
gosh.
6 or 7 restaurants.
Just wanna
He
eat
does
at
a
all
really
your
good job.
These
places.
are all the best places.
Yes.
Dude, they're good. There's a lot of good places to eat in Portland.
Yeah.
Like, what's your favorite place to eat? I'm like, man,
Everywhere.
like, dude, Fuego de Chao, Brazil Grill is good too.
All
if
of
those
it.
two are kind of like
Yeah.
the same
I just
style.
ate there for lunch the other day.
They're
Holy
so good.
cow.
Yeah.
With Lion?
Yeah. with
Of
Is
the-
that,
course.
that's
Yeah.
the
Loves
buffet
that
one,
place.
right? For the,
Fuego de Chao, they bring out all the
Right.
like
All
the
the
things.
meat.
yeah,
Yeah,
and you like put the
It's
little
Brazilian.
thing
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, they just keep bringing meat. Like,
just bring it. Just bring it.
yeah,
Just
it never
bring it.
stops.
Bring it. Yeah,
Never
it's so
stops.
good. There's a lot of good places to eat. Well, and then Matador is just right around the corner
Yeah.
from
Right
there.
next
so,
door, yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
what else do we like? Box.
God, I like everything. Oh, Steakadelphia.
Steak Adelphia.
Listen, okay,
Somebody,
I-
is that the one
Have you not had
Alpha
it?
was just talking about?
Listen, it's
Oh.
we,
I think so,
I've been to
right?
Philly a few times.
I've been
I used
twice.
to be in a
I've been
band.
twice.
We,
Yeah.
we drove out there. I'm
Not
like,
as
I'm
good.
eating at iconic.
Yep.
Someone in Philly is gonna murder me. After
Geno's
this.
or whatever.
But
know.
I went eat at iconic Philly cheesesteak place there. I ate at Geno's Steaks and I ate at one of the other places. They were
The two best ones.
The two ones that were
best ones.
most referred, and I was like,
Nope.
disappointment.
Yeah. nope,
Because
nope.
of
Disappointed.
It was
Yeah.
good.
The
Yeah.
hype,
But it
you were
was
too
not
hyped
as-
up.
I was too hyped up. I was like, I want
Right.
a really good cheesesteak,
No.
and I was comparing it to Steakadelphia.
Oh.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay.
And I think,
that's the
maybe
second time.
I might have
Last
ruined
week.
it because
We're
I
going
ate
after.
Steakadelphia first, and then
Yeah,
I
we're
went
going.
over there. But listen, Steakadelphia, they chop it up real nice.
And I
you know.
believe
Yeah.
that they are from Philly and they ship all of the things
The
from
bread,
Philly.
the bread is
All
super
right.
good.
Yeah,
I'm
but
going.
why
It's so good.
does
It's off
it
at, like,
taste better
58th and
here?
Powell.
Yeah, why
Okay.
does it taste
It's
better
so
here?
good. I don't know what it is,
I
but
think that's the one Alpha was
I'm
talking
pretty
about.
Oh, it's
sure.
those
but
are the
it's
best
green.
cheesesteaks.
It's green.
Yeah, it's
the
green.
building.
It's off
It's
Powell's
very
best
small.
cheesesteaks.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotta do it. So before we move on to a break, favorite artists for tattoos in town.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So a little difficult. I think, okay, there are some great artists here, but I feel like it's a huge quantity versus quality in Portland. I'm just going to say it. I might get murdered for this, but some of my favorite Portland artists, Bob Jones is
Bob's
amazing.
good. He did my hand. He did this on my hand.
Bob's done half of my tattoos that I have. so I wouldn't have gone,
Yeah.
if he wasn't good,
Back
if I didn't.
for more.
Back
Yeah.
for more. I did my whole chest, I did my throat.
Those are sensitive areas.
Yeah,
You want to make sure you trust
very,
that person.
very delicate hand. He was recently on Ink Masters for a reason. I'm sure.
Delicate hand.
Well, I thought it was
My
pretty delicate.
Dude, he's drilling that shit into my hand.
I think that Dustin Kendig is great.
Yep.
He's a great realism artist. I think my favorite tattoo styles would be realism and traditional.
Yep.
Yeah.
Josiah Laughlin's really
Traditional.
good. He did my whole back.
Yeah.
Ross.
There's
I
lots.
forget Ross's last name. I don't want to say it's not Ross.
I know
he
it's
did
hard
the back
to
of my
remember
neck.
the last names. It's hard
Ross.
to remember.
Ross.
Wherever you
Dude,
are.
Ross the tattooer.
Molly V, I think she's over off Southeast Pal. She's amazing. She did the back of my arm. She has a really very interesting style of tattoo work. She was my
Artwork Rebels is a really good studio.
She was my last
Rebels,
interview because I write for Skin Art Magazine and I do I have a tattoo culture column in which I feature all kinds of people in the tattoo community.
So
Pretty cool.
Christina is going to get her first tattoo, so she'll have to hit you.
Yeah. It depends.
I am.
Yeah. It depends
My
on
sister
what you're looking
keeps
for.
trying. I'm picking her up today. She wants to do like a sister tattoo.
If you're
I've
looking
been
for something
thinking about
more-
my first one for years, and I
can't believe you guys
just
don't
went
have
down.
I think you should get a tribal armband.
Ah.
I just
Yeah, I
can't
almost
commit.
got it. So glad I didn't. but
How about a
can't
barbed
commit
wire
to
armband?
I think that most
That was
people
actually the one I was thinking about
don't
years
know,
ago.
so that's why they don't get tattoos, or they go all the way and they're like, I like all these things. So it doesn't have to be some sort of special story. It's like
Right.
if you like eating tacos, get a stupid taco tattoo.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
all.
Yeah, I know.
YOLO.
You know what I mean?
You know?
Don't think too
YOLO.
What the
hard.
kids say.
Don't think too hard.
Well, I hate to stop us now. You got anything else? You
No,
want to
no, not right. I mean,
Your
I got
tribal-
a lot more,
Your
but
tribal armband wishes.
it was going to be barbed wire, but
Of course. Of course.
We have to take
now I
one
might
more
go
break.
tribal.
Yeah, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about maybe some OnlyFans and photography, and then we're going to talk some real estate as well. So,
Absolutely. We wanted to give a shout out to some of our sponsors, and first of all, Gateway Brewing PDX, and they are in the Northeast Portland Gateway District, and they have some amazing beers, and we've tried a few of them.
yes, we have here on this show actually. So I discovered the Pilsner is my favorite, even though I'm not really a beer drinker.
Yeah, and they have a great red, a great IPA, and a great stout as well, and some other ones he's experimenting with. So you can find them at Gateway Brewing PDX on Instagram. I'd also like to give a shout out to the House of Rose in Bridgeport Village, and they make bespoke clothing, so custom clothing for men, women, and children, and accessories, and they can be found at
Instagram. Designs by Thor.
Designs by Thor, that's the one, yes. Also, our preferred mortgage broker, Todd Johnson. It's the Todd Johnson team at Commerce Banking, and I've worked with Todd for years, and he does an awesome job. He thinks outside the box, and he's been able to get some of our clients some loans put together when others couldn't. And so, Todd can be found at.
He is the Todd Johnson team on Instagram, if I remember correctly.
That is
but
the
yeah,
one.
that'll get you there. Todd Johnson.
Yeah, and then lastly, Homes with Style. So Joe Hughes is the owner there, and I've worked with him for years, and does some amazing remodel jobs and new construction if you need it, garages, ADUs, everything. So
He's been building for about 30 years.
Joe's been building for 30 years.
He knows what he's doing.
He's hands-on and great customer service. So Joe can be found at, he's old school, so we're going to give you his email. So he's Joe at homeswstyleinc.com. Welcome back, everyone. We're back with our amazing and beautiful guests. And we're going to talk a little real estate. We're going to talk a little, what else are we going to talk about?
First time home buyer stuff.
yeah.
But
Sure.
first, we're going to talk OnlyFans.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah, right out of the gate.
Right?
Wow.
I've been
Yeah.
waiting.
Let's get down to the nitty gritty.
This is the fun part,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Blush, man. Blush.
So, actually, OnlyFans is not, it is what you make it. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people associate OnlyFans with, like, porn and all that stuff. But basically, it's a good place to sell your content.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just a third-party platform. That
To
is it. It's
sell
like
your
Patreon. It's exactly like Patreon, only better.
Yeah.
So Patreon's been around for a while?
Yeah, and Patreon's cool because I like Patreon because it looks better. It looks more professional. It's for artists, podcast people, musicians, all of that. And those people can also be on OnlyFans, but I feel like OnlyFans is set up more for a one-person creator selling their content. So like modeling. Like I feel like it's more like geared towards that. I don't know. I feel like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's at least what we use it for.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people just sell all kinds of things. I mean, I'm sure, you know, whatever.
It has a reputation for being only porn.
I
Let's
feel
just
like
say it.
Right.
I'm gonna say
It blew up during quarantine. Though,
It blew up.
Like that was another.
Yes.
And here's the
that
thing,
started.
though. You know, a lot of people see people posting like, "Oh man, making all this money on OnlyFans, all that
easy.
stuff." It's not easy. You know, like before you decide to make one, like who are you going to be selling your content to?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like, are you comfortable in front of a camera? Are you comfortable, you know, modeling if that's what you want to do? Like,
Right.
and it's one thing to be like, yeah, I'm comfortable with modeling, but then when you get there on the set, it's like doing the podcast. You know, like, oh, I could talk into a microphone for hours, and then they turn on the camera and the microphone, you're like, crickets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Get nervous.
Yeah,
the
we've
same
had a
thing.
lot of fails on here. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I would suggest having an OnlyFans if you are a person who already is on social media and or already has some sort of audience. Doesn't matter where you got the audience from. Have an audience, obviously.
There's varying levels of exposure, correct? You don't have to be doing like
And
everything.
Nope.
Okay.
And that's something that a lot of, I want to say, first-time models, naive people who are like just starting with that stuff, they assume that you have to show everything to
Put it all out
yeah,
there,
that's
yeah.
not how it goes at all. You make it exactly what you want. It's to your level of comfort.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
some girls are all balls to the wall and some girls are not all balls to the wall.
And you know, a lot of things, or sorry, not a lot of things, but a good thing to remember is if you do decide to do something like that, like start an OnlyFans, is not to feel obligated by people to show more.
yeah.
You know what I
Don't
mean?
feel depressed.
If you're a young lady or a young dude out there and you want to do that, and people are like, I want to see all this stuff, you are not obligated to show them anything,
No.
just for a few bucks. You know, if you market yourself right and you do your social media right, you can have any level of exposure that you feel like, and you are in control.
Yeah, you stick to your own brand.
So
Yeah.
you can still make a good
Yes.
living or extra money
Absolutely. I feel
without
like
showing it all.
yeah, I feel like with me when I say I do the least, it doesn't mean I do nothing, but I feel like I do the least and make the most from doing the least. I've stuck with my brand. I have not changed my brand. Some girls will just go balls to the wall, like I was saying.
Yeah.
And that's fine and everything. Like I
Support
I
and-
support and I
yeah.
encourage
Yes.
everybody
Yeah.
to be absolutely 100% comfortable with their own sexuality and all of that, but don't feel pressured.
Don't feel pressured, but also
know.
you have to be prepared for, like,
Question.
the good thing is
Yeah.
on OnlyFans is generally you can send out paid content, right? You have to pay for it to open it, which is awesome because generally if someone pays for something, they're not going to turn around and release it on freaking Google and then everybody can see
Right.
your butt on the social media or
Whatever.
wherever. So
Yep.
the good thing is with OnlyFans is you have a lot more control over your content as well. And you don't have to work with
And
photographers
no.
and people
It's all right from here. if you want.
to build your content. You know, you don't need a professional camera. Actually, you know, for us, we started working on our own just because we got tired of working with photographers. They'd be like 5,000 photos deep into a 3 or 4 hour shoot, and we get like
Three,
4 photos back.
Right.
Bro, we were
Right.
there, and they would be not edited that well. You know, they just
Yes.
was not worth it. So we're like, F it. We bought our own camera and we started doing it ourselves.
And I just taught
way
myself Photoshop, Lightroom, and everything, and I was like, "Here we go. You take the photos, and I do all the process, the post production and all of that stuff."
Nice.
Yeah, pretty
I
good.
like that.
Yeah,
Every publication that she's got it herself.
pretty
Pretty much.
Yeah.
She's
About
That's awesome.
She's taken-
I would say 8 out of 10 times it's been me doing the submissions,
Yeah.
retouching the photos, and blending the
she'll
covers.
take a
Yeah.
photo set from when we used to work with other photographers, and turn around and most of the time get whatever set she wanted to published in a magazine, right? And then
So
the
if-
photographer would be like, "Yeah, I got her published in a magazine." We'd be like, "No, you didn't.
No.
You didn't do shit, but take the photos and took us 6 months to get it back. We only got 5 back."
So we decided to
Gonna
buy
take the
our own
glory at the
gear.
last minute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We decided to buy our own gear, and I was like, if we can do it with that, then let's just shoot our own stuff and then submit whatever. Like, I just got, what was it last month? I just had the cover of FHM, was it Sweden?
Sweden, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's really crazy.
That's
Yeah, I
awesome.
saw one of your posts about that.
Someone's
so that's
super
really cool.
tattooed. It's really good. Like,
I love it.
I think it's important to give more people looking like myself an opportunity to do something that's so mainstream.
Yep.
Because I'm not blonde and I'm not augmented, so that's usually what you would see on a magazine like FHM or Playboy.
Yeah.
Feel you on that.
That's not 2020 anymore.
Right.
Nope. More representation, people.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's not to say that there's not good photographers out there.
There's plenty.
But you know, as a model, if you're not really experienced in the business yet, you know, do your research on who you're going to be working with. Don't, you know, like we were talking about model safety before. That's a huge thing, especially in this day and age. There are a lot of people out there that are there to take advantage of you, but there's a lot of good people out there too. So, you know, not everybody's a bad guy, but there's still a lot of shitbags out there.
Yeah,
you know?
for
So
sure.
just do a little due diligence
Yeah.
up front, and don't just jump at the first thing or the
Right.
first one that has a good,
Somebody's spitting good game.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily. Dude,
Apply a little pressure. Ask some good questions.
she gets people spitting game at her all the time, trying to be like, yo, let's. Like these guys,
Collab.
these OnlyFans, I call them OnlyFans pimps because they will literally try to get all these ladies with like decent followings and all this shit. They'll be like, yo, I got a OnlyFans, sign up underneath this sign up code or whatever. I take 20%,
Plus-
and then OnlyFans takes 20%.
No. Plus, then they want an extra fee on top of that. This is.
Lay it out, babe.
Let me
You
just
know.
lay it out right here. So here's the
lay it
internet. Here's OnlyFans or whatever. I'm on the internet, and then what happens is. This isn't, not everyone does this, but it's happened quite a few times. It'll be these models or these girls that are sent out from their managers, which are quote unquote are the OnlyFans pimps, whatever you want. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Like these guys who figured out that OnlyFans is a huge, great pool of money, and they're like, well, I'm going to try and figure this out. So they send these girls out to get other girls to lure them in to sign up under them, and then on top of a referral link. Money. They
I've seen
also
this
ask
before.
for another percentage of money of whatever they make. And I'm like, OnlyFans takes the cut, then they're getting the referral money plus. It's just
So
So just
basically,
do it yourself.
some
do
of
it
the
yourself.
Buy an
That's what.
iPhone and
multi-level marketing pimping.
Yeah.
Like what?
That's what the subscribers pay for. They want to talk to you. They don't want to talk to some
Some
Joe
dude.
in the corner on a
Yeah.
desk. They want to talk to the model that they're paying.
And you know when you ask, be like, well, let me see the statements. How much money are you making? You
Every
say
single
you
time
can
I've
triple
done
my
that, I've called every single one of them out, and they haven't been able to produce me any sort of
Can't
proof like
produce
that at all.
Yeah.
And the girls I do ask, I'm like, well, have you asked these questions yourself? And they're like, no, I haven't. I'm like,
And you signed up under this
and you
person.
signed up under this
So
person.
basically,
What?
OnlyFans is taking 20%, and then this dude is taking, say,
Plus another
another
cut on top of that.
20%,
Yeah.
maybe. So you're 40% of your income gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
You're getting
and
60.
it's you. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
you out
And you're
there. It's
like,
your
this is
content.
such a great idea.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's
Yeah.
horrible.
How is that a
Sounds
good
like
idea?
a horrible idea
Yeah.
to me. So.
Yeah.
Dude, save your money. Use your cell phone. You know, these iPhones take
Amazing.
such good photos
Yeah.
now, like
The
the
new
new
ones
iPhone
are
11s. Oh my
ridiculous.
god.
I'm about to get the 12 too. So
Yeah.
12
I'm
just
thinking
came
about
out.
getting the 12.
Yeah.
too,
12 is
And they
nice.
take such good photos
Take
and
my
videos
11.
now. Like
No, I need the
Take
12.
my
you
Yeah, it
can
has
literally
great
make your
nights.
own content. You don't need a professional photographer. You just need to be creative.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And not be lazy.
Yeah, don't be lazy. Don't expect someone to do the hustling and do the work for you because that's what you're going to be paying for. And they're not going to be doing it as good as you because they don't depend on you.
Say it louder for the people
Yeah.
in the back.
Yeah.
There we go.
Figure it out yourself.
You want to switch gears real quick? I know
Yeah,
you
let's
wanted
talk
to
a
chat.
little real estate. I know you guys
Did you want to
are-
do real estate, or did you want to find out a little more about Jane?
Let's just talk briefly about real estate. Like,
Okay.
So just, I know you guys are thinking about buying a house here before too long. So have you guys, and I know you had some questions about it, kind of the steps to take. You're self-employed, obviously. And so, we have the first step I always tell people is to get approved with a good lender.
Yeah.
Do it
Yeah.
sooner than later, even
Yeah.
though, you guys had mentioned, we're thinking a year from now.
Right.
And some people just, that's in their own head.
Planned that out. I did talk to somebody already, and they told me in order for me to even do that, I need to have at least another year of my LLC.
Yeah.
So that's
There
what
you
I
go.
need
Yep.
first before to do all that. But
And that's exactly why you talk to a lender
Yeah.
ahead of time.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
starting there. I mean, that's where it all starts. And
Yeah.
then,
Otherwise-
once you narrow it down to,
yeah.
go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, otherwise it's harder. They don't usually look at people who haven't already been pre-approved. They're just like, You want to see this house? Or no.
Yeah, you won't get your offer accepted, especially in the market we're in right now. There's multiple offers. Like if you're like, well, they make good money, but they're not approved yet. But they're going to get approved tomorrow. Like your offer's
peace out.
Yeah. So that's kind of the first step, really. I mean.
Well, I know at least. I'm very picky. I know that I at least want a 4 or 5 bedroom home.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I would like this home to have at least a guest house or at least a shop or at least a garage. One of those 3 would be great to put the gym, obviously. And I want
a couple acres.
I want a giant master closet. These are just specifics. Giant master closet. Like the size of this would be great.
So like possibly one of the bedrooms could be used as a
Absolutely,
That's
yes.
why it needs 5.
And I want
jump
a jet tub in front of a window. That's all I want. Those are the super
hits all those,
specifics.
then you're good to go.
Yeah, then I'm good to go.
Tiny little list. It's just this little
a
list.
hole in the roof. Yeah.
You got to have a shop.
Skylights would be nice.
You have all that amazing equipment for your gym.
Dude, I know. We need a good space for that.
Yeah. So tell us, you do some jiu-jitsu. That's how we met.
I do. I just started, before COVID, I started like 6 months before COVID hit, I think. I started jiu-jitsu.
I didn't realize that it was just. I remember him talking about.
It was like a year ago, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I did it for like 6 months, and then COVID hit. I haven't done anything until recently, So
in 6 months, you just kind of feel like you're just getting started,
right?
And then you get shut down,
right? So. Just kind of. I cannot have a panic attack when someone's strangling me. Like I'm almost to that point, and then COVID's like, nope. So I recently started rolling again. Thankfully, I was able to get some wrestling mats and. John's come out, and then, the coaches come out every so often. And we wear masks the entire time.
It's annoying.
We got to be safe.
Yep.
You got to be safe. Yeah. So we've been doing some more rolling lately, and I'm digging it. A lot of people might not know out there, but I am an above knee amputee. So that, poses its own challenges. But I was lucky enough that I started jiu-jitsu after I lost my leg. So I wasn't like really used to doing it before.
A different kind of
So
way.
I'm not, so it's not.
You're used to adapting to whatever you need to do. And so that's one of the things that like impressed me, like when you came in, like you're not backing down from anything that I can see. Like you're going, Josh is like, well, you don't have to do all the warm-ups. You're like, no, I'm doing all the warm-ups. So you're doing the jogging around the deal with us. And, as much as you could possibly do, you're going to do it. And so I'm like super inspired by you. And then I'm seeing your stuff. You're doing squats, and with a prosthetic leg and probably more than I can squat with 2 good legs. So,
I don't know.
Me too. He's very strong.
So
yeah.
on my bad days when I'm like, man, I don't really feel like doing jiu-jitsu, I'm like, what would James Ramsey do?
WWJRD, bro.
Yeah. So it inspires me to go in and do more.
Have you always been that way? I mean, this is like just a curious question. Or
ever since I've known him, yes. Least, yes.
That happens, and that people can go one of 2 ways, obviously. And
I think I went off the deep end the other way. Because, before I lost my leg, I was in the military and stuff. I didn't lose my leg in the military, like I said before. I got out of the Army. I served 6 years. Got out. Day I got out, I was a naive young lad. And against everyone's best wishes and judgment, I rode my motorcycle down the street and crashed it into a guardrail. Lost my leg right there. It took about a year for me to get onto a prosthetic, and then I lost my leg in 2006. So I've been an amputee for a long time, and I'm able to adapt pretty well to it. But just like everybody, I have my fucking bad days too.
Right.
I hate wearing my prosthetic. It's the equivalent of taking like my bra off at the end of the day when I take my leg off. That feeling. You're just like, oh. It's like it's that same feeling. So, because it's a 14-pound piece of extra shit attached to me. So I use a lot more energy when I'm walking around, just doing a lot of things. So have I always been that way? No, I was a lazy fuck before I lost my leg. Really? I did the bare minimum most of the time.
Yeah. Because of his situation, I think it propelled him in the opposite way. He was like, because I have this one leg, I'm going to try and do as much more than somebody with 2 legs probably could. Like more than I can do.
I was 26 when I lost my leg. So I just got out of the Army. I had no idea what I was doing with my life. Everything that I thought I was going to do when I got out, it just completely changed. So it motivated me to do more because I knew everything was going to be harder, I guess. So I was like, well, let's make it as hard as I can, because then even on an easy hard day, at least it's still easy, right?
Right.
I guess if that makes sense.
No,
Wow, that's incredible. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it's
an
super
inspiring.
impressive. I mean, it inspires me, and I hope that, I know you have a big platform on your social media and stuff, and hopefully we can help expand that and get the word out even more. But everybody should be inspired by that, because, if you can do it with one leg and get in there and squat and work out as hard as you do and go do jujitsu.
and a hip,
Try something new.
replacement.
And a hip replacement.
And he's got to get another hip replacement too, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably do. Yeah.
But, to be honest, like the last 5 years or so, I've really been doing more. And, I attribute a lot of that to her, because she's always pushing me out of my comfort zone,
Yeah.
And being uncomfortable is a mantra that I like to kind of live my life by. Like, how do you grow?
By being uncomfortable.
Right.
You
That's
don't
the
grow
only
when
way.
you're
Get comfortable by
Right.
being uncomfortable.
I never did squats before I lost my leg.
Yeah.
really.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my-
didn't. I
that
didn't.
is
I didn't
so
do any
shocking to
deadlifts
me.
before I lost
That's
my
crazy.
leg. I worked out at the gym, but I did like all the bro exercises, like curls and then like bench press and shit like that. I never did
Skip leg day.
Top heavy.
very top heavy. I never for a long time.
Don't skip leg day. Do not skip leg day.
For a long time after I lost my leg, I was super top heavy. I didn't start doing these things until the last 5-6 years. I mean, I've always, since I lost my leg, I've always been trying to be healthy and keep physically fit. But like the last 5 years is where I really started pushing the squats and did jujitsu and deadlifts and stuff. So
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, thanks for the inspiration.
I
Appreciate
know, it is
No.
inspiring. You guys both are.
No.
You're so
Yeah,
cute.
Just him.
absolutely.
Just him.
Absolutely.
No, you both are together as a couple. You guys are amazing, and that individually,
We're
you can tell you each
we're
are your
strong,
own
separate.
individual. Yep.
We're strong separate, but I always say we're strong together. Stronger together. I
Yeah.
mean, it makes it.
I feel it.
You feel that.
Better
Feel
off
it.
together than we are alone. And
Exactly.
Yeah, very
So-
cool. I love it.
Awesome. So, well, I think we're kind of towards the end of our show, unfortunately. I know we could probably
keep
sit here
talking.
and talk
Keep
all
going,
day.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
kind of
Another day.
but yeah, we'll have you guys back on for sure.
sure.
Part
Absolutely.
two.
Part two.
We're
yes.
exposure therapy.
Yes.
So let's just
Yeah.
tell the guests again how we can find you and
Go ahead.
all the amazing content you guys put out. And
I feel like Instagram is going to be the best. So at Heidi Lavon, and then if you just search that, I'm sure you'll see James, which is, was it James?
At James_Marshall_Ramsey. I think
you had to go with the
It's
easy
is
one.
it M?
It's James M. Ramsey.
Is it James
It
M?
is
Ramsey?
James
I
M.
say-
Ramsey.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's James_M_Ramsey.
sent me a link.
Sorry, I messed that up.
No, it's okay.
Why don't you shout out to our sponsors?
Oh, to our sponsors. So,
Put you on the spot.
yeah,
It's like, let's get my notes here.
I'm kind of thirsty, so PDX or Gateway Brewing PDX. So they make some amazing beers. They're in Gateway. They can be found on the
Sounds
Instagram,
delicious.
Gateway Brewing PDX. We also have an amazing lender that we would turn you guys on to.
Oh, yes,
Absolutely.
You
yes.
get one when you guys are
Yes.
ready, and maybe sooner just to get the ball rolling.
Sure.
But that's
Yeah.
the Todd Johnson team at Commerce Mortgage and Home
Yeah, hell
Loans.
yeah.
And then we've got
The House of Rose.
The House of Rose out at Gateway, or not at Gateway, Bridgeport Village.
I got them all messed up by time.
Anyways, Bridgeport Village, he makes some amazing custom suits and
Oh, that sounds nice.
for men, women, and children. So
Oh, like suits? Like the
bespoke,
Kingsman?
yeah,
Bespoke,
bespoke
like hand.
stuff. Yeah, it's all
Handcrafted.
handcrafted.
Might need to
He
go get
makes
some.
it.
We need him to have a suit.
Yeah,
I always say
Yeah.
this.
it's really
There's
cool
nothing
stuff.
more sexy than a nice physically fit man.
Yeah, that's where you go.
He has some great accessories too. I didn't
get to
bring my
pick out the
fanny pack today,
fabrics.
but
Girl,
yeah,
I'm
leather, all these
excited.
really cool
I'll have to go
leather
check it
goods.
out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Find them in Bridgeport Village.
Love it.
And Team Taylor Real Estate. Let's not
Oh,
forget
yeah.
them.
Hey.
So-
Of course.
We talked like 2 minutes of real estate
Right?
today.
Right. That's all right. We
Nice
don't
catch.
always have
Yay.
to talk a lot of real estate. So. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching and listening, and have a great day.